Fellas, 2025 is shaping up to be a hell of a year for video games. We're talking about games bringing some of the most compelling stories, insane graphics, big budget games, and some of these that are just outright pushing the boundaries. However, with great games comes great consequences that even most current-gen consoles cannot handle, which is why we roll with Starforge. If you're looking for one of the best ways to experience video games with the highest of frames, the sexiest of graphics, then no PC will carry you better than a Starforge PC. Located right in Austin, Texas, Starforge is a PC that will fit your budget and has one of the best parts and labor warranty on the market. We've been partnered with Starforge for almost 2 years now. And not only has my PC crushed any game that I've played, but the delivery of it is so quick. There's never been a better time to roll with Starforge than today. Big shout out to Starforge for sponsoring today's video.
All right. This just dropped. Report marathon delay likely as Sony cancels all paid marketing plans. So from Zahad here. Bungie's marathon is likely to be delayed as a new report claims Sony has now canceled all paid marketing plans. Bungie's upcoming shooter marathon just can't seem to catch a break. What started as a highly anticipated closed alpha test has hit roadblock after roadblock, leaving fans wondering if the game will actually see the light of day this year. Jesus, you don't want to go to the next year. You got GTA around the corner. First, the studio was rocked by an art theft scandal when it was revealed that some of Marathon's promotional materials and in-game art were directly copied from an indie artist's work, Anti-Real. Bungie quickly apologized and promised to review all assets, but the damage was already done. Following the whole art theft controversy, several reports have now painted a pretty troubling picture of what's happening behind the scenes at Bungie. Multiple sources say morale among the developers is in free fall, with many team members feeling frustrated by the leadership decisions and the overall direction of the project. Some have even gone as far as calling Marathon's leadership toxic and humiliating to work with, saying that warnings about focusing only on PvP were brought up early on, but were completely ignored by higher-ups. On top of that, another report claimed that after the mixed reaction to the closed alpha, Bungie pushed back its marketing and pre-order plans that were supposed to go live in June, and the big open beta was replaced with public playtests. If my understanding is correctly on this too, this was pushed back even before the art controversy, right? Gonna be late next year. Oh, dude, that's so fun. That's, you know what I mean? All right, Sony reportedly cancels all paid marketing for Marathon, delay incoming. Now, a new report claims that Sony has canceled all paid marketing plans for Marathon. This information comes from Colin Moriarty, who shared the news in the latest paywalled episode of the Sacred Symbols Plus podcast. This reportedly came from someone familiar with the marketing efforts in an overseas market, and it's considered a fairly unusual move for a game of this high profile. All right, so quote, I was told by someone familiar with marketing plans in a key overseas market that there are now no plans to do paid marketing for Marathon at all, Moriarty said during the podcast. I don't know if those plans were affected by what has recently happened, or if that was always the plan or whatever, but it is considered a fairly unusual move for a game of this high profile. All right, so let's play devil's advocate. All right, so if you canceled marketing plans, one of two reasons. Either number one, well, really only one reason. You're not planning on shipping the game out anytime soon. I don't see it coming out in September and Sony does no marketing for it. Hell, they even did marketing for Concord. Stop the bleeding? No, dude, that's just, you're purposely killing the game then. Or you're sending it out to die. Sony cannot have back-to-back flops, guys. Even though, yes, it was Firewalk Studios and Bungie, it would still be under Sony's umbrella, and it cannot have back-to-back flops. I'm not saying it can't happen, but I don't see Sony just letting it ship out and not do anything to try to push it. With everything going on, the art plagiarism controversy, mixed and negative feedback from the closed alpha, and now no paid marketing plans from Sony, it's hard to not see a delay on the horizon. Pushing forward with the planned September 23 launch could honestly make things even worse for Bungie and Marathon. That said, none of this has been officially confirmed. These reports come from insider sources, and as always, it's smart to take these things with a grain of salt. So far, neither Bungie nor Sony has made any public statement about delaying Marathon or their plans for the game's release. What's your take on the situation? Should Bungie and Sony delay Marathon and try to turn things around? Was there still hope for a 2025 launch? Let us know what you think in the comments. Here's my issue. Every time Marathon has been delayed, it's been followed up with more layoffs. Here's what I don't want. I don't want the game to be delayed for another year, and it's pretty much the same thing. You know where I'm coming from? If we get into next year and the conversation is still, we don't think proxy chat is the way, and we didn't add solo queue. All right, you want to delay it? Then say the features that you're going to be adding and stand by it. Final bonus payments are summer 2026, and Marathon has to release or Bungie misses out. Could just be killing the game and scrapping management. Alti, tell me about this final bonus payments you're talking about. He means the Cell Executive Compensation Plan. I saw that thread that was being shared out, what, like a year ago? Essentially, over this time frame, if Bungie was to meet certain revenue targets, they would get certain payouts for executives and the C-suite. Kriller, does it pertain to this right here? I don't know where the podcast is. I don't even know. It doesn't even show like a timestamp for the podcast. Part of the deal was that Marathon would have to release in a good state by March 2026 to trigger the final staff retention and bonus payments due summer 2026. That's a deadline that Bungie agreed to. Okay. No one happens to have a clip of the podcast anywhere, do y'all? Your mother has one? I wish she did. She'd make my life a lot easier right now. Wow. I thought we had capable people in the stream to produce a clip of a podcast at the exact point that I need it. But it seems that is not the case. YouTube people, Twitch people are incapable right now of producing this. Does one of you have a clip to this podcast with this exact statement? That way we can hear it directly. Cross, you should never rely on Twitch chats. They're incapable as fuck. Always look to us first. I'm sorry guys. It'll never happen again. I'm here now though. I'm here now. If you happen to have what I'm looking for, I'm all down. Twitch chat is a bitch. Lulu, don't lick it, guys. He doesn't love us. Whoa, that's untrue. I do love y'all. What are y'all talking about? YouTube suck my ass. Oh, now you want us? Whoa. Even if we pay for it, if we share the podcast publicly, it could be a breach of Patreon's contract. Okay.
Hey everyone, Luke here. I wanted to offer some clarification to this segment of the video. Yes, this clip does exist. It's a part of the Sacred Symbols podcast, episode 360. It is behind a paid Patreon. So we didn't feel comfortable blasting that out online to like a ton of people who haven't paid for it, even though we did pay for it. They just don't want to cross that barrier out of respect. But yes, as the article states, there's no plans from Sony's end to do any marketing for Marathon or whatever that does exist there has been canceled. This is unprecedented for a game of this size and magnitude, especially given how supportive other accounts like Sony's accounts have been in the past with putting up Marathon banners and all this stuff. Yeah, we're gonna just have to keep an eye on it. But anyway, that's the info. Wanted to clarify that all for you guys. Back to Cross.
All right, listen, whatever the case, guys, if you want to, you could check out this podcast. And it's a very, very large Last Stand Media. Got 18,000 members. Good Lord. It's a lot of people, dude. Some of you guys were saying that it is in fact a very reliable source. Maybe Marathon gets pushed back to 2026. You're still getting in that blast radius of GTA. I'm just really concerned that this is going to be followed up with, you guess it, more layoffs. If we see Marathon get pushed back, and not that it doesn't need to be delayed, but it clearly needs some work. It needs to cook. My concern is that it's not going to cook in the right ways from now until, March or whenever. That's my concerns. We'll see what plays out. I will say, with all the issues with the artwork and not knowing what is or isn't plagiarized, it could be a major problem, dude. Because that's just one artist that has come forward. What if the second map or the third map, or I guess in this case, the third or fourth maps, what if those maps contain more plagiarized art? Fucking disaster, you hear? That shit's got to be right before it ever hits us, before it ever hits the public, and before we ever see a beta again.
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.